This is big breaking emergency news. Biden has ordered U.S. nuclear forces to prepare for a nuclear attack. All right, that's what's happening currently right now. We'll get into more details in just a sec. We're going to wait for people to start rolling in, and we're going to let the notifications go out. All right, it looks like it's just now going out. We're just going to wait just a second here, let people roll in, let notifications be sent out. Just going to wait just a second here. Please just hit that like while we are waiting for things to go out. All right, we're seeing people. We're seeing John G. He said hello from Nova Scotia, Canada. How's it going? RD said, hey, buddy. Charlie, hello. Family videos. Thank you for all you do, homie. I appreciate that. Jeffrey, hello. Naradai, hello. Christine, Bob, RD, Gurley, Roseanne from Boston. Thank you guys. Please hit that like. We're just waiting here just a minute for people to come in. All right, Janice, hello. Debbie from Houston. All right, hope you're okay down there. Right now it's scorching hot. All right, Jeff from Nebraska, how's it going? All right, thank you guys. Please just smash that like. We are getting this warning from the New York Times. All right, I have the full details. I have the full article here from the New York Times giving us all the back details of what's going on with this nuclear plan that Biden just updated in the past few months, right? He's getting ready for coordinated attacks from Russia, China, and North Korea, right? So this is a major warning. Please just smash that like while we wait for people to get in here really quick, all right? Yeah, real. Thank you. Blue Raven, Jeremy, thank you guys. Thank you, everybody. All right, we're going to wait just one more minute for things to go out. It just takes a sec for these notifications to hit. And then we're going to get into this. All right, so Janika Jones, good evening. Matt D, how's it going? Belinda, Arizona Hillbilly, thank you guys for being here. All right, let's get into this. So Biden has approved a secret nuclear strategy refocusing on the Chinese threat. This was just disclosed today from the New York Times. All right, so this is a classified document. This is part of our nuclear deterrence, and this is updated every 4 years or so, right? And they just updated this in the past few months, and this was just revealed tonight that Biden has updated our nuclear deterrent plan to include being prepared for a possible coordinated nuclear strike from Russia, China, and North Korea, potentially at the same time. All right, and this is a threat that we haven't dealt with before in history. All right, even 5 years ago, this was not a real threat, and now China has thousands of nukes, potentially thousands of nukes. China has deep underground military bases where they are producing these nukes, and North Korea admittedly potentially has hundreds of nukes. All right, so this situation is deteriorating every single day, and Biden has ordered the U.S. forces to prepare for a, quote, possible coordinated nuclear confrontation. That's what's coming out of the New York Times, and I have the full details here for you guys. Let me check on the stream here really quick. All right, sorry if things are... Let me know down below in the chat if you guys are experiencing any interruptions or anything here. I don't have the best internet. I'm on satellite internet. All right, I see Ultra MAGA Patriot from Mississippi. Thank you for being here. Bitcoin Rich, let me know Yeah, this order went out in March. This was updated in the past few months. He sent this order out in March, but we're going to get into more details of this in just a second. This was just revealed that this is part of our nuclear deterrence now, to be prepared for one of these attacks. Someone said no glitches. All right, I appreciate that. Demon Hunter said that. So let's get into this. All right, it says President Biden approved in March a highly classified nuclear strategic plan for the United States that for the first time reorients America's deterrent strategy to focus on China's rapid expansion in its nuclear arsenal. The shift comes as the Pentagon believes China's stockpiles will rival the size and diversity of the United States and Russia's over the next decade. All right, it probably already does rival our stockpiles. We don't know exactly how many nukes China has because China is not a part of any nuclear arms treaty, and they don't have to really even abide by any rules or regulations because they're not a part of any of it. All right, all that stuff was ratified before China even had any nuclear weapons or even had the ability. So they are kind of in this quasi gray area where we don't know what's going on. There's no monitoring. There's no like UN agency going into China and checking how many nukes they have, and they're not announcing it either. All right. And it says the White House never announced that President Biden had approved the revised strategy called the quote nuclear employment guidance, which also newly seeks to prepare the United States for possible coordinated nuclear challenges from China, Russia, and North Korea. The document, updated every 4 years about, is so highly classified that there are no electronic copies, only a small number of hard copies distributed to a few national security officials and Pentagon commanders. All right, so there's no electronic tracing of this document, and it was just updated in March that our nuclear forces and deterrence need to be ready for a potential coordinated attack from China, Russia, and North Korea. All right. And it says, in recent speeches, 2 senior administration officials were allowed to allude to the change in carefully constrained single sentences ahead of a more detailed unclassified notification to Congress expected before Biden leaves office. All right. I see somebody said, Jamie says we need to build iron domes on our soil. I completely agree 100%. All right. We need to have our own Iron Dome system. 100% agree with that. Right. And this document was just revealed. Right. And it says, quote, the president recently issued updated nuclear weapons employment guidance to account for multiple nuclear armed adversaries. This is what Vipend Narange, an MIT nuclear strategist who served in the Pentagon, said earlier this month before returning to academia. Quote, and in particular, he added the weapons guidance accounted for the significant increase in size and diversity of China's nuclear arsenal. All right, so that's one of the main focuses of nuclear deterrence right now is Chinese nuclear weapons for the U.S. All right, the U.S. is now investing heavily to prepare for a coordinated attack. And it says the National Security Council's Senior Director for Arms Control and Non-Proliferation, Pranay Vadi, also referred to the document, the first time to examine it in detail whether the United States is prepared to respond to nuclear crises that break out simultaneously or sequentially with a combination of nuclear and non-nuclear weapons. All right, so even the National Security Council has seen these documents and verifying it. All right, Brandon donated $19.99. I appreciate that. He said, God bless you, bud. Household name here. I appreciate that for the support. Thank you, guys. Just hit that like really quick too, guys. If you don't mind, it helps to get these warnings out so people know what's going on. All right, I appreciate that, Brandon, for all the support, guys. Thank you for that. And let's get back into the details here really quick. All right, it says the new strategy, Mr. Vadi says, emphasizes, quote, the need to deter Russia, the PRC, and North Korea simultaneously. right? And the PRC is just People's Republic of China. And it says, in the past, the likelihood that American adversaries could coordinate nuclear threats to outmaneuver the American nuclear arsenal seemed remote. But the emerging partnership between Russia and China and the conventional arms North Korea and Iran are providing to Russia for the war in Ukraine have fundamentally changed Washington's thinking, right? So North Korea, Iran are providing missiles, rockets, conventional arms as well, weapons, rifles, all these things. They're drones, right? They are heavily manufacturing that, and they could supply the conventional arms, while Russia, China, and even Iran coming into the future, right? Iran has enrichment capabilities now, and they probably already have nuclear weapons that they haven't disclosed. They're most likely not just going to announce it, but we know that they are bare minimum extremely close to having enrichment capabilities for a nuclear weapon, right? So Iran is being thrown in the mix for this too, and will probably be updated to include Iran soon, right? This nuclear deterrence document. This is the quote, nuclear employment guidance, right? This was a document that gets updated around every 4 years, and it was just updated to include coordinated threats from Russia, China, and North Korea at the same time, right? And it says, already Russia and China are conducting military exercises together. Intelligence agencies are trying to determine whether Russia is aiding the North Korean and Iranian missile program in return. It says a new document is a stark reminder to whoever is sworn in on January 20th. They will confront a changed and far more volatile nuclear landscape than the one that existed just 3 years ago. All right, this is true. These things are moving very quickly, right? We're entering the quickening, and these things are going to come a lot faster, right? Everyone has nukes now. Everyone has drones. Everyone has satellites. Everyone has aircraft carriers, all right? Everyone has this stuff now. It's not just the US anymore. So we're moving into a more volatile situation where other countries are going to test us, right? They're going to test the US and see what we're going to do, right? And while the US is tied up in the Middle East with Israel and Iran, and also in Europe with Ukraine and Russia, we could see China exploit this vulnerability and potentially make a move on Taiwan. And China might potentially use nuclear weapons to protect Taiwan after they capture it, right? They might take Taiwan and then say, if anyone interferes and invades Taiwan, it's now ours. We might have a nuclear deterrence ourselves, right? It says, this is all from the New York Times, and it says the new document is a stark reminder that whoever is sworn in, all right, I already read that, sorry about that. It says President Vladimir Putin of Russia has repeatedly threatened to use nuclear weapons against Ukraine, including during the crisis in October 2022, when Biden and his aides, looking at intercepts of conversations between senior Russian commanders, feared the likelihood of nuclear use might rise to 50% or even higher. I remember making a video on that where Biden was warning that we could see a nuke being used, right? This was at the end of 2022. And we're even closer now to the situation, even potentially a tactical nuke being used by Russia, because they are under threat right now from Ukraine. They're having major incursions from Ukraine. And Belarus has also deployed their troops to the Ukrainian border to prevent any incursions into their country, right? They're on high alert as well. Let me check on everything. Susan Todd said hi. Thank you, Susan. All right, someone said, we need Trump to make peace. Someone said, Karen said hello. Ellen said, time to repent and turn to Jesus. Rob said, akin to birth pains. Ashley said, hello, everyone. All right, so please just hit it up for me down there, guys, to help get these warnings out. I'm still going here. There's still more details to reveal here. But please just smash that like, everyone here. All right, let's get 500 likes. Just hit that like really quick. I appreciate that. Helps to get these warnings out. Me is Me said, good man with the Union Jack. Thank you. I appreciate that. I hope you're doing okay over there in the UK. Right? Wild Mountain Bear says, wow, first live I've ever seen on here. Welcome to the live. Welcome to the live. All right. So let's get into this more. It also says that Mr. Biden, along with leaders of Germany and Britain, got China and India to make public statements that there was no role for the use of nuclear weapons in Ukraine, and the crisis abated at least temporarily. Right? So they got China and India to put pressure on. This happened at the end of 2022 and saying Russia shouldn't use nuclear weapons. Right? I don't know if you guys remember that, but I remember reporting on that. And it says, quote, this is another quote from Richard N. Haas. It says, quote, it was an important moment. Who is a former senior State Department and National Security Council official for several Republican presidents and the president of the Council on Foreign Relations. This is what he noted in an interview. He said, quote, we are dealing with a Russia that is radicalized. This is what he is saying. This is his quote. All right. And thank you, Susan Todd. I see that $10 super chat. I appreciate that. She said, God bless you and your family. Peace for our world. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. And yeah, everyone pray for peace. We need it right now. All right. We are in a situation where it's deteriorating every single day. All right. We need peace. And thank you for that, Susan. I appreciate that. This is what he said, though. This is what Richard N. Haas said, former president of Council on Foreign Relations and former senior State Department official. He said, quote, we are dealing with a Russia that is radicalized. This is what he's saying. The idea that nukes wouldn't be used in a conventional conflict is no longer a safe assumption. The second big chance arises from China's nuclear ambitions. The country's nuclear expansion is running at an even faster pace than American intelligence officials anticipated 2 years ago, driven by President Xi and his determination to scrap the decades-long strategy of maintaining a, quote, minimum deterrent to reach or exceed the size of Washington's and Moscow's arsenals. All right, so he is warning that he believes that China has similar nuclear weapon size arsenals to the U.S. and Russia, right? Which I believe too, if not even more. I've been saying this for years. I've been harping on, I've made whole videos on China's deep underground military bases where they have nuclear testing going on, and they are also producing nuclear weapons as well, because they don't want any of the stuff on satellites. They don't want any of the movements caught on satellites, so they keep it all deep underground in the mountains. Right? This has been known for a while, but the depth of it, we do not know exactly how many weapons they have, and this guy believes that the U.S. or China has equivalent nuclear weapons to the U.S. and Russia. Right? It also says China's nuclear complex is now the fastest growing in the world. Right? So they are the ones, and they could also give nukes to North Korea if they wanted to too. North Korea has their own capabilities, but they also could share weapons with them. And it also says, although former President Donald J. Trump confidently predicted that Kim Jong-un, the North Korean leader, would surrender his nuclear weapons after their in-person meetings, the opposite happened. Mr. Kim has doubled down and has now more than 60 weapons, officials estimate, and the fuel for many more. Right? That's what this article is saying, that North Korea has potentially more than 60 nuclear weapons right now. Right? Debbie donated $5 for super chats, said God bless your family. I appreciate that, Debbie. Thank you guys for all the support and all the super chats. We did it, guys. You guys got to 500 likes. I appreciate that, guys. Thank you for that. Please just hit that like button and don't be scared. All right? I see people saying, I see all things are all seen cats. Whatever happens, happens. I don't live in fear. I agree. That's how I feel too. I'm living my life. I'm not hiding out in the bunker all day. I'm living my life. I have 3 kids. I have a newborn. I have a 3-month-old. All right. So I believe in the future. I think we need to keep going. We need to persevere. We can't allow ourselves to be overwhelmed by fear, right? But we should use these warnings to motivate ourselves to get more prepared and get ready for what's coming next. Because if anything does happen, then we're ready and your survival rate is a lot higher. Right? So that's the plan here, right? Don't be scared, be prepared, and just be ready. Have your preps. And it's also about things like hoarding and stuff is going to happen too. If anything ever happens, a major war breaks out, a nuclear event happens, people are going to rush to the store and they're going to be panic buying and buying up all the food, right? So just be prepared preemptively and have your preps ready so you don't have to rush to the store, right? You don't want to be a part of the panic buying. You just want to slowly get your preps ready before the chaos hits so you're ready and you're not contributing to any type of strain on the supply chain or anything like that, right? So be prepared. Don't be scared, right? Don't be scared. Just be prepared and be ready, right? I'm just giving you guys the facts and the information here that's coming out right now, right? And they are putting out this warning here through the New York Times, so we should just be looking at it and saying, hey, this might be the next narrative that is coming next, right? This might be the next big thing that they could push, right? So just be prepared preemptively. Don't be scared and be ready, right? Third Temple said, Patrick, you're almost at 100K. We are close. Please smash that subscribe. Help me get to 100K. I appreciate that. If you guys help me do that, all right, I appreciate that. I've been stuck here for like a year, all right? They won't let me get it. I've had right under 100K for like a year. All right, it just hasn't budged at all. So if you guys want to help me get that, I appreciate that. All right, let's just get back into more details here, all right, of this article and what it's saying. It says, this expansion has changed the nature of the North Korean challenge, right? And just an update for everyone that just tuned in, Biden just updated our nuclear deterrence documents and readiness plan to be ready for a coordinated nuclear attack from Russia, China, and North Korea. Or it was just revealed that Biden updated this. He updated this in March, telling our forces to be on high alert for a coordinated attack from these nuclear forces. All right, this is an update of what's going on here, and I'm going through the details here. So it says, the expansion has changed the nature of the North Korean challenge, right? When the country possessed just a handful of weapons, it could be deterred by missile defenses. But its expanded arsenal is fast approaching the size of Pakistan's and Israel's, and it is large enough that it could, in theory, coordinate threats with Moscow and Beijing, right? This is what this document says. This nuclear deterrence document says this is what it's warning of right now. And this is called the nuclear, quote, nuclear employment guidance, right? This was just updated, and this is a highly classified secret document, and we're getting details revealed about it, all right? So for some reason, they want to reveal these details to us and tell us about this threat. For some reason, they're revealing it to us, all right? This is normally highly classified information, but they're giving us all these details about it. So let me check the chat really quick, all right? Somebody said, stay safe, y'all. Be prepared, or be aware and be prepared. That's what Karen said. Kathy said, say nuclear. Girly said, amen. All right, I appreciate all the support. Please just hit that like there, guys. I appreciate that. It helps to get these warnings out. All right, let's get into more details here. It says, it was only a matter of time before a fundamentally different nuclear environment began to alter American war plans and strategy, officials say. Quote, it is our responsibility to see the world as it is, not as we hoped or wished it would be. All right, that's what Mr. Deterring said as he was leaving the Pentagon. right? So he's saying we have to see the world as it is, not how we hope or wish it would be, right? I'm just giving you guys the facts of what's going on here. It says, quote, "It is possible that we will one day look back and see the quarter century after the Cold War as a nuclear intermission. The new challenge is, quote, the real possibility of collaboration, even collusion, between our nuclear armed adversaries." All right, this is what a top Pentagon official is warning of that has seen this document, right? And someone brought up earlier that we should have a Iron Dome missile defense system, and I completely agree with that, right? Completely agree, right? Our country is vulnerable. Our skies are vulnerable and open. And if other countries have this and we're helping pay for it, we should have one too, right? And it says, so far in the presidential campaign, the new challenges to American nuclear strategy have not been a topic of debate, right? And it says, at Biden's last news conference in July, just days before he announced he would no longer seek the nomination, he acknowledged that he had adopted a policy of seeking ways to interfere in a broader China-Russia partnership, right? So Biden even revealed last month that they have been trying to split Russia and China up, right? They're trying to create a wedge between Russia and China because this war in Europe between Ukraine and Russia and NATO has really created a wedge between the US, NATO, and Russia, and Russia and China are natural allies. They're right next to each other, and Russia has oil, China has cheap goods and manufacturing, right? They're natural allies, and we have forced them into a position where they are now closer than ever. And Biden said that he has been seeking policy to drive a wedge between China and Russia, right? He said, quote, "Yes, I do, but I'm not prepared to talk about the details of it in public." And he made no reference to and was not asked about how that partnership was altering American nuclear strategy, right? We just had a super chat over here. I appreciate that from Brandy. Thank you, Brandy, longtime supporter and watcher. I appreciate all the support, Brandy, and all you guys that hit the like button that are watching. I appreciate all you guys. Thank you, Brandy, for that super chat, that $20 super chat. I appreciate that. All right. And it goes on to say that the Biden strategy sharpens that focus to reflect the Pentagon's estimate that China's nuclear forces would expand to 1,000 nuclear weapons by 2030 and 1,500 nuclear weapons by 2035. All right, that's what the Pentagon is estimating, but most likely China already has that many nuclear weapons. That's still 6 years away, and China most likely has equivalent amounts of nuclear weapons to the US and Russia already. All right, so we don't know exactly. China's not a part of any nuclear arms treaty, and they don't make any announcements about it, which is honestly probably the best strategy, right? It's probably the best strategy is secrecy around nuclear forces, because in the past it was thought of a deterrence as, well, look at all these nukes we have, don't attack us. But I think we're moving into an age where having secrecy around it is even more important, where element of surprise, right? We don't know what China has, and that's why the Pentagon and Biden has ordered our nuclear deterrent forces to start planning for an attack like this, a coordinated attack between China, Russia, and North Korea. That's what they're openly preparing for and making documents for right now, right? So they're estimating 1,500 nukes by 2035. I think that number is way under, right? And it says, in fact, Beijing now appears ahead of that schedule, officials say, and has begun loading nuclear missiles into new silo fields that were spotted by commercial satellites 3 years ago, right? This is what I was saying, is China tries to keep all this stuff underground because everything is documented by satellites. Nothing's safe. It's all out in the open, right? They can try to hide it as much as they want, but we're all seeing what we're all doing. And they're saying that China has potentially been loading these nuclear missile silos as well. And it says, there's another concern about Beijing. It has now halted a short lived conversation with the United States about improving nuclear safety and security. For example, by agreeing to warn each other of impending missile tests, or setting up hotlines or other means of communication to assure that incidents or accidents do not escalate into nuclear encounters. Okay, so they're trying to set up these nuclear talk back channels, kind of like we have with Russia and other countries, but that treaty is actually expired recently. The US and Russia did not renew this nuclear arms treaty, and they are trying to get a similar agreement with China as well, where any type of nuclear testing, they tell each other about it. All right, and I see a super chat over here. Ismail Stonewall, I appreciate that. I remember you supporting, longtime supporter here too. Thank you for the support. I appreciate that, brother. 1999, I appreciate that. And he said, I know you don't drink, so here's somebody's for your preps. Keep on streaming. Thank you. That I remember that last time you were saying that. You were saying this is to buy me a drink. I appreciate that, brother. And I will get some more preps with that. I'll probably buy some more chicken feed with that. That's a bag of chicken feed right there. I appreciate that, brother, for the support and for the help. All right, thank you for that. Thank you. All right, let's get back into the details here. All right, this is why I like live streaming. I like seeing what you guys are saying, and I like interacting with you guys. All right, thank you guys. Please just smash that like too if you guys are here to help get these warnings out. All right, so Biden is trying to set up in the Pentagon these nuclear back channels, and China has said no, essentially. All right, China has cut them off and said, we don't want to have these nuclear back channels. We don't want to tell you anything that we're doing about our nuclear testing, and they don't want to set up any hotlines or means of communication to avoid nuclear encounters. All right, and somebody else here, another super chat here really quick. I appreciate that. Somebody said, this is progress and blessed. $5. Thank you for all you do, Patrick. I still heart your smiles. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. All right, don't let them take your smile away, guys. I know this is heavy stuff. We cover heavy things here, but don't be scared. Don't be worried. Just be prepared. All right, don't let them take your smile. Don't let them take your joy. Life itself and a lot of what was created, right, is good, is beautiful, is pure, but it's been corrupted, right? And there's a lot of the humans are the ones corrupting it. All right, so get out in nature, get out in the forest, in the woods. That's where you're gonna experience the joy, right? The oneness, the peacefulness, all that stuff. So don't let them take your smile. I appreciate that for the super chat. All right, that's how I stay sane. At least I got to get out in the woods where there's no cell phone service and just go out there like almost every day, every other day. I got to just get out in the woods and go out there with my family and let it all go, right? So don't be scared, be prepared. And it says one discussion between the two countries took place last fall, just before Biden and Xi met in California, where they sought to repair relations between the two countries, and they referred to those talks in a joint statement. But by that time, the Chinese had already hinted they were not interested in further discussions, and earlier this summer said the conversations were over. They cited American arms sales to Taiwan, which were underway long before the nuclear safety conversations began. All right, so China is using the excuses Taiwan as why they don't want to have any nuclear détente or deterrence with the U.S. And Mallory Stewart, the Assistant Secretary for Arms Control, Deterrence, and Stability at the State Department, said in an interview that the Chinese government was, quote, actively preventing us from having conversations about the risk. Instead, she said Beijing seems to be taking a page out of Russia's playbook that until we address tensions and challenges in our bilateral relationships, they will choose not to continue our arms control, risk reduction, and non-proliferation conversations. And it was in China's interest, she argued, to, quote, prevent these risks of miscalculation and misunderstanding. Right? So that's what they're warning of. And it is true, the nuclear option is used as a bargaining chip. Okay? So China and Russia do not want to give up this bargaining chip, this nuclear bargaining chip. That's why China doesn't want to give any leeway on it, because they want to get what they want. I'm just giving you the facts geopolitically. Their country wants what they want, right? So they're going to keep this bargaining chip and saying, no, you need to stop funding and helping Taiwan, which is never going to happen, right? The U.S. is so heavily invested in Taiwan and has sent so many weapon systems there that it is bound to become the next Ukraine, right? It's going to happen. Whether it's next month or next year or 2 years from now, Taiwan will eventually become the new Ukraine, where NATO and the US are having this conflict over this piece of land, right? And Taiwan is critical because they have all the chips, right? All the manufacturing. The US has heavily invested in semiconductor manufacturing in Taiwan, and they are going to protect that investment and that asset. All right, so that's the details here. Right, that's the full article about this nuclear warning. Okay, so Biden just ordered our nuclear deterrence documents to be updated to include a attack congruently at the same time from Russia, China, and North Korea. All right, so thank you guys. Please hit it up for me down there. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. Let's check the chat here really quick, guys. I appreciate that. Mel said chicken and rabbits. Somebody said what? Brandon said chickens are easier than cats to care for. All right, I have dozens of chickens. I have almost 50 chickens here. All right, and that is one of the main ways you need to be getting prepared. All right, Adrian. All right, I see you there. Thanks for the comment. All right, thank you for watching, everyone. Thank you for the support. Daniel says, I got my chicken a big garden and live very far away from a city. I appreciate that. That is the way, right? I've been telling you guys that for years, all right? So good job. And Barbara gifted 20 memberships. Barbara, thank you, Barbara. I appreciate that. That's awesome, Barbara. You're incredible. Thank you for that. That's awesome, Barbara. Thank you. You didn't have to do that, Barbara. That's awesome. I don't know how this works, but people are being gifted memberships here. Barbara, everyone thank Barbara. Everyone hit the chat, spam the chat, and say thank you, Barbara. All right, thank you, Barbara. I appreciate that. God bless everyone. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, spam the chat. Thanking Barbara. She just gave away 20 memberships. That is awesome. Thank you, Barbara. I appreciate that. Thank you, guys. That's awesome. It's incredible. I love just talking to you guys and interacting with you guys. You guys are awesome. Thank you, guys. I see lots of thank you, Barbaras, coming in. That is awesome. All right. That's what it's about, guys. Thank you. All right. Thank you, guys. So please just hit it up for me down there. Thank Barbara one more time. I can't believe that. That's awesome. Thank you for that. Because people get to be members now, too, from that. So that's a really cool gift. Thank you. So thank you, guys. I hope you have big blessings for your life, your family. I hope you guys enjoyed the live stream. I'm going to start getting more lives going for you guys. All right, so be on the lookout for that. Thank you guys for all the support. Hope you guys have big blessings for your life, your family, and I hope you have a big old blessed day. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Barbara. God bless you all. God bless, guys. Thank you. Have a blessed day.